Welcome in, everybody, on Iron Bowl week to the Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, along with A.J. McCarron and Trent Richardson. I'm Chris Stewart. Great to have you with us. And again, if you're not familiar with the Dynasty, thedynastybama.com is where you can find us with YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you happen to be listening. We do ask you to please rate, review, and share at the Dynasty Bama is the hub for social media. Today, of course, we're going to react to Bama's bounce-back win over Eastern Illinois. A little conversation on that, but the main thing, the discussion about the SEC title and CFP races. We're going to get into the Iron Bowl and break down that special week in the state of Alabama and what it means nationally. We've also got some of your questions online that we're going to get to as well. But I know everybody talks Thanksgiving, but it's Alabama. So we go happy Iron Bowl week, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well and good to see, frankly, both teams playing pretty well going into this game, even though we really don't care what they do on that side. I think it does help with the conversation and the hype that both look pretty good going into this one.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's two different seasons. Auburn and DJ Durkin are fighting to ruin Alabama's year and keep them out of the playoffs, get hired as a head coach and not just interim. And then Alabama's fighting to make it to the SEC championship and, have a real shot at winning this entire thing by getting into the playoffs. So it's going to be a good game. I think
Trent,
it's
go ahead,
one of our toughest by far.
Yeah, I totally agree. Trent, how different is this week, though? I'm talking about the Monday of game week, the Tuesday, the Wednesday. How different from the other weeks is this one?
Well, for me, it's more like when the season starts. Like, you smell that grass again. Like, you smell that. Like, it's a one-game season. Like, for real. It's different, man. Like, it is different. Like, the week is different. I mean, you prepare the same, but it's a little more intense. Because we know what this means for the state. We know what this means for our fans. We know what this means for us, especially. And this is counting without the playoffs, right? I'm just talking about the rival. I'm just talking about the in-state stuff. And for the guys that got in tune with it that came from out of state. So, like me, like I didn't know how serious it was until my freshman year. And we got ready for that week. And just, going out there on that crowd, playing in Jordan here, that crowd is on top of you, like the fans are right up on you. So it's a big week, man. So I know when we was playing, we had the crowd noise in the indoor or we was outside. We had it real loud. Everybody in Tuscaloosa can probably hear it, and so it's just different, man.
Before we get into EIEIO, let's get into EIU and talk. I had to do that. It's Iron Bowl. I'm just kidding, Auburn people. Bama bounced back with a 56-0 win over Eastern Illinois. 269 yards on 49 carries, 8 TDs on the ground. First time, gentlemen, since 1979 and Coach Bryant that Alabama put 8 rushing touchdowns on the board in a ball game. Little something there for the selection committee and Hunter Yurachek, in addition to taking care of business against, as we knew, Trent, a much lesser opponent, but still got business done in a pretty clean fashion.
Yeah, 8 rushing touchdowns on the ground. It's a record, right? Well, it ain't been done since
79 Vanderbilt.
Yeah. So, and any team you play against, right? That's a hell of a result. And I'm gonna get into the good, but to me, I don't know how to digest that. And I'm not complaining because I know guys got an opportunity to touch the ball and, score, but we still still haven't had a 100-yard rusher. Like, I mean, we have had it before this, in this season, but like we don't. It's still like we're trying to interview running backs right now. And for me, like, man, like just let these kids go play. Let them have fun, enjoy it. Running backs, and I say this, like, you got some stuff to get better on. Like we really do. But it's not all their fault, and it's not all the O-line fault too. Man, it's situation stuff. But man, I'm happy they had 8 touchdowns on the ground. I think one of them came by with a quarterback. I know Mac ran one in, looked like the young AJ out there.
Did 10. It was mirrored it.
Yeah, just another that 10, man. I'm like, damn, is that McCarron?
Is that McCarron or Stedman Shealy? Went way back. Y'all don't even know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know Stedman.
Yeah. No, look, AJ, we know who it was and who it wasn't. You're going to face one of the best defenses you've seen all year in Auburn, but regardless, got some things done. Can that jumpstart what you're doing, especially when you weren't at full speed, full strength. You didn't have Brailsford. You didn't have Cuevas. You didn't have Jeremy Bernard. And so, without 3 of your most important players, you still got some things done. I don't care who it was against.
No, I mean, I agree with you. You better hope it does.
Yeah.
I mean,
we don't
just
know.
Being honest, you better hope it jumpstarts something because going against this defense this week is going to be a challenge. They stopped the run very well, and DJ Durkin does a lot of different things to try to confuse a quarterback. And that's the one concern I have right now is if you can't run the ball, you can't play action and confuse the defense, because there's nothing more confusing to a defense than play action. They think it's run. All of a sudden, it's pass. I got to get to my zone. I lose eyes because a lot of times I got to run back, and then I'm trying to look back at the quarterback. I'm trying to get to a certain zone, but I'm also trying to match a certain route. Like, it's the hardest thing in football. It's why it's still done. Play action's the most successful thing at the highest level in the NFL. So if you can't do that and you're asking Ty to just play drop back and go win this game, I think you're leaving your team in a tough situation. I really do. I think Ty's, not falling off, but I think he's in a little rut right now to where my biggest thing coming into this game, I wanted to see him play clean football, take care of the football, because past couple weeks you've had some turnovers, fumbles in the pocket, interceptions. You had a lot dropped that could have went against you. I just wanted to see him play clean football and didn't really get that. And so it makes for a tough week this week. Hopefully he can find it in practice and it feels good coming out of his hand, and he's got his, he's back on his high with his confidence and playing well.
Defense, Trent, really good. 34 total yards, 2 first downs. One of those came on their first drive, and they got 18 yards on one play on 3rd down on that very first drive. So virtually nothing the rest of the day. How comfortable are you about the Bama defense going into this matchup?
Man, I love what Bama defense doing. They keep stacking, man. They stacking days. They getting better. They look 10 times different than their first game of the season. And I know we don't like to talk about it, but man, I think the challenge that we gave them, and I think the challenge that they gave themselves, I think they stood up to the plate, making turnovers, sacking the quarterback, rushing the passer, making a big hit, being able to, get the young guys some reps, and young guys coming in and taking over, man. I was watching a TV copy, and they was talking, and my boy QB Reese, they were talking about him coming in, stepping into the role next year. They were talking about a lot of young guys. And so, man, I'm excited, and I've been saying this all year about the young guys, because only 34 yards on defense, and them guys played first quarter.
Yeah.
So you tell me, and I know who it was, but at the same time, man, you treat every game like it's your last.
Right. We'll go another route real quick, because I know we got a lot to talk about concerning next week. So kind of skipping. Conor Talty misses a 28-yarder in the first quarter. He's now 11 of 18 on the year, but he didn't miss an extra point, even though he didn't have another field goal attempt. I'll never say a miss is a good thing, but the reaction to it, because the quiet part was the not so quiet part was said out loud. Student section, which as we know is students, okay, uh, they're booing the guy, and it made the locker room step up, speak up. I saw players literally flapping their arms to try and shut him up when it happened. Is that a type thing that can maybe let Conor know those guys have got his back and help his confidence? We know kickers are different. We know confidence for kickers is a different thing. He did keep coming back out. He did make the rest of those kicks, even though they were just PATs. And it looked like and sounded post-game like his teammates had his back anyway, which was, to me, the reaction you want to see, and at least shows the locker room's intact.
I'm gonna be real with Alabama fans right here. Excuse my language. It's shitty on their part. All right. To boo the kid. Has he been perfect? No. Did he bring some of this on himself? Yes. Because of being at the position and going off when you're long snapper, right? There's only a couple of positions on the team that can really do that. That can jump somebody in the middle of a game. It's quarterback, it's Mike linebacker, it's possibly your star running back, right? It's you got to have a position of power to do that. Not the kicker. Kicker, you want to be unseen, unheard of. Go out, just do your job.
Yeah,
you're a workman, right? Like you go do your job and stay quiet. So did he bring some of this on himself? Of course, but it's shitty on Alabama's fans' part, because now this kid, you just booed him, okay? He's been struggling. The process, he thinks, has been struggling throughout the year, whether it's the hold, whether it's the snap. They obviously have something going on there. And now you're asking him to go into Auburn and possibly have to make a game-winning kick. You don't think all this goes in his head now? They're already mentally messed up as a kicker as soon as they miss one.
Yeah.
They do not have short-term memory. It's just the way it is. They think of everything. Oh, my foot was placed, my off foot, my plant foot, the laces, the ball wasn't upright. Like everything's going through their head. I was on the left hash. I wanted to be on the right hash. Like, and now you got the fans booing. You better hope it don't come down to a kick. That's all I can say. I mean, I don't understand. For everybody to complain, has anybody watched the halftime shows at any of these bowl games when they ask people to kick? It's never good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's obviously not an easy thing to do. Pat McAfee has given everybody this year multiple chances to try to make a 30-yarder or whatever they have to kick on his show.
$2 million kick.
Right. So, I mean, what are we doing? Listen, I understand why they did it. I don't think it's right.
Yeah, I'm with you. Trent, you got anything?
I agree. I agree with everything AJ just said, because, I mean, like at the end of the day, the reaction that came from his brothers, it was supposed to happen. Like it's supposed to happen. And I'm glad those guys stepped up. And I'm glad those guys had their teammate, their brother back. Because if not, it would be a problem. Yeah. And I say that because you don't listen, nobody's talking about Agent McCarron. Where I can hear it and see it, feel it, touch it, you're not doing it. And I think that'll be vice versa. I mean, and no matter how long we ain't seen each other But being around each other, man, I sweat blood and tears with that guy. So it is no way. People talk a lot of mess about Cade, and people still don't realize that's still my brother.
Yeah.
He's still my brother, and I know it was a bad game for him, but it is what it is. We're going to get up, and we're going to, life goes on. We shouldn't have put him in that situation.
Yeah.
To me, that's how I feel
too,
about
guys, it's clear he's the best option.
Of course.
Yeah.
Or he wouldn't have been there to begin with. That's a pretty easy one to evaluate, right? Who's making them the most? They put them under pressure situations as best you can, and you go from there. So again, just as you said, hopeful that it doesn't come down to that, but at the same time, need to get behind him. So if it does, that it's as positive a situation as possible. When we come back, we're going to talk about where Bama stands in the SEC championship and CFP races, as well as getting some stories from the guys about Iron Bowls of the past. Stay with us as we've got a lot more of The Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, coming your way next. College football not feeling as juicy as it once did? Well, let me put you on to something that'll shake up your Saturday and every other day of the week. Because now that Wendy's has crispy chicken tendies and a powerhouse lineup of new sauces, it's time you transferred to the hottest team in the league.
That's right. Team Tendies. Wendy's Tendies. They're making an undeniable rookie season, one for the books.
Enjoy first-string flavor from some five-star recruits. Rep your new favorite team everywhere you go, but make sure to cheer with your mouth closed. Take it to the end zone of savory sauces like honey barbecue, creamy ranch, and the new Wendy's signature sauce to experience a total taste bud blitz of flavor. It's time to join a team that won't upset you with an upset. Taste the phenom that's gracing the gridiron with its juicy, crispy, and tendery tendencies.
Don't fumble the bag. Commit to Team Tendies and call the most delicious plays in the playbook. All right, huddle up. Tendies on three. Tendies on three. 1, 2, 3.
Tendies.
Let's do this.
Wendy's Chicken Tendies, now at participating U.S. Wendy's.
The holidays are coming up fast, and if you've been putting off that home improvement project, now's the time to knock it out and save big.
As America's most trusted home remodeler, West Shore Home has been helping people transform their home for nearly 20 years.
Their process is quick, easy, and now they're making it even easier to get started while saving big with Black Friday savings. They're doing free installation on all projects. So whether it's a new bathroom, windows, front door, patio door, or even flooring, if you schedule now, they'll waive the installation cost. With more than 60,000 five-star reviews, West Shore Home is the trusted name for home improvements. They only use crews of highly trained employee installers, never subcontractors, so you know the work will get done right the first time.
To get started, just visit westshorebath.com to lock in Black Friday savings before they're gone. That's westshorebath.com for Black Friday savings from West Shore Home.
Welcome back to the Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide at the Dynasty Bama's, where you can follow us on social media. TheDynastyBama.com is the hub if you want links to find us across all the different platforms, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Hope that, again, you'll check us out each and every week. This is not just a football season show, by the way. Just looking ahead, we will go through the year, and we are excited about the chance to see the calendar turn, and hopefully in 2026, guys, we'll be talking about an SEC championship, an Iron Bowl championship, and the Tide moving towards a national title as well. But first things first, you got to win the state championship, and that's the only scenario now that has Alabama in Atlanta for the SEC title, if you win that matchup against the Tigers. So, Trent, it's real simple, at least on paper. You beat Auburn, you're in. Texas A&M would be the opponent if they beat Texas. But if A&M loses, then Georgia becomes the opponent because they're done with conference games. Who would you rather see Alabama face? Get there, I know, is the main objective. And you got a preference?
Ooh, ooh, that's tough. Me, I would rather go the A&M route, and I say that because their defense is really good, but their offense got some type of holes in them, right? And I've seen them, and I've seen I mean, they got a great quarterback, but it's some stuff that he still got to grow up on, and that's not knocking the kid, but I definitely don't think Bama defense would allow what's been going on all year, and that's not to talk about the kid or talk about the team, but when you talk about playing Kirby again, I wouldn't want to see him again with this with the game planning that he doing, and the results come from making changes in the second half, because Kirby gonna keep on going. He made them changes in that second half when you played Bama, and he's gonna keep building on that. So that second half ain't stopped for him when they get in the SEC championship. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still the second half for him when he get in that game when he playing against Bama. And so for me, man, I would want to play Texas A&M, but Bama got to win out. It's do or die. If you don't win out, you're gonna be at home with the popcorn.
Do you agree with that, AJ, that you've got to win Auburn and the SEC championship game to get in? Or do you think beating Auburn, do you think they actually penalize Alabama for being in the championship game, even if they lose it?
I don't think they penalize them. I think if Bama were to, of course, beat Auburn, and then if they were to lose in the SEC championship game, I think it depends on how they lose. Is it an ugly loss, or is it
I'm with you.
just a normal one?
I'm with it.
I think that's what it comes down to, because if Bama were to get blown out by A&M, okay, it's hard to argue and say a 3-loss team should be in there with a blowout, when you might have another, BYU or Texas Tech or somebody like that could end up with 2 losses, but they lost a close one. So you just don't want to give them this committee any room to take you out. I mean, you win, you're automatically in, and you're probably getting a bye.
Help
That's
me
the tough
remember. Help me remember. Did SMU not come back and make that ACC title game tight?
Yeah.
Late. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, it was a blowout. And if FSU wins that thing in a blowout, Bama probably gets in over. I mean, sorry, yes. Forgive me. Clemson beats SMU in a blowout.
Yeah.
Then we probably get in over them.
Right.
But because they made it a ball game late,
Yep.
and that goes to just what you were talking about, I think how that game looks starts to factor in regardless of whether you get it done or not.
Yeah. Because I think it was a blowout in the first half, and then SMU fought back in the second half and made it a game, had a chance to go down and win it.
Yeah.
I remember. And I think that's what saved them. And that's what Bama's going to have to do, because I think when there's a couple of things I'm looking at, though, to kind of transition into the rankings part. All right. 1, Ohio State, 2, Indiana, 3, Texas A&M, 4, Georgia, who I think is the best team in college football right now, the way they're playing. 5, probably Texas Tech. 6 and 7 is where this thing gets interesting. Between Ole Miss and Oregon.
Okay. 6, 7.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've heard that so much.
I know. Sorry.
I know what my kids were talking about the other day. I'm like,
I know.
I still don't understand what the hell it means.
I don't either, but it's I've been programmed.
I think this is where the rankings and seeing how they come out with this deal where this gets interesting. Because are they going to say that Oregon beating down USC, even though strength of schedule is not, I don't think, what Ole Miss has played, either one of them, right? But the fact that Oregon beat USC so bad, and it really was a BTA beating.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, you know what that means?
Yeah, beat that.
belt tag.
Belt to.
But
Belt tag, okay.
I think
Same thing.
that's a big thing for me with this committee is where do they stack those two up? Because I think it says a lot, and I say all that to say I think it relates to the Alabama and Notre Dame conversation. Is why I'm saying I'm focusing on where they put those two teams, Oregon and Ole Miss, because I think last week, and I think DeBoer and Grubb, it was kind of a gesture to Hunter on his interview and his stupid answer from a sense of, well, we put him there because of not being able to run the ball is why we weren't ahead of Notre Dame. Because when you look at the factor in the strength of schedule, it's not even close.
Right. But they beat Syracuse now.
Yeah. I mean, so I think that could fall for us to where, right, if they keep Ole Miss ahead of Oregon based off strength of schedule, I think you could see an Alabama us jump Notre Dame and go to 9 and Notre Dame go back to 10 because you have the same record and strength of schedule. So if they bump Oregon up, I would say if Oregon's ahead of Ole Miss, Notre Dame's going to be ahead of Bama again, which it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's just more of a talking point for us talking heads and in the media side, but it's still interesting.
Yeah, just put us in. We'll figure it out from there.
Yep.
Well, they gotta earn to be in there. I ain't gonna lie to you. No, that last game we lost. We put ourselves in this predicament, so we can't just say just put us in there. We gotta earn that.
No, I know, but I'm simply saying you take care of Auburn and put us in, and it doesn't. I don't know at that point,
But that's why I say we need to win out, so we won't have to go through all that.
I don't disagree. I agree with you. I would much rather take it out of everybody's hands. And they're giving a ring away. You want to play for it. So that's another reason. This situation, similar to last year, went on the road, lost to Oklahoma. That kept them out of the playoff. Anything that the team can take from that game, learning to make sure it doesn't happen? Do you use it as motivation? You just move on and go play. I get the feeling that they put it behind them with the way they took care of business against Eastern Illinois. You put Oklahoma behind you. You've digested. I'd be more concerned if we had to go Oklahoma, Auburn, but to have the not the bye week, excuse me, but to have that game in between. The non-bye, to have that in between gets you in a better frame of mind, in a better position to go play well, whatever that outcome looks like on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. That's the whatever, Chris, answer from you guys, and I appreciate you being kind to your elders. Georgia Tech's lost to Pitt. Every ACC team has at least 2 losses. Is the ACC a one-bid league, or does Miami still get a chance to make it in at 10-2 if they don't make the ACC championship? One bid. Agreeing there. I'm guessing no different for you, Trent.
Same thing.
Okay. Texas Tech, BYU both go 11-1. Tech loses the rematch in the Big 12 championship game. Does Tech still get in with 2 losses? All right. We've already said we think about Bama 10-3. Another good one from Stephen here. If Alabama can win the SEC title, can they rise high enough to where they get that bye? Or
they will
being
for sure.
At home? Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's 2 Big Ten teams and 2 SEC teams that are going to be the top 4 seeds. I think Georgia's automatically in. They're in the driver's seat. I think even if Alabama were to beat A&M, I think that bumps A&M to number 5. I think they keep Georgia in there.
So do that give us like 2 teams in the top 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. Okay. But let me ask you this. Do you think they would do it? And I know we're looking way ahead on this. If it goes that way, do you think they go 1-4 like Ohio State Bama, and Indiana, Georgia as the 2-3, or you think they're going to make the SEC? They're going to put Georgia at 2, so they would have to play Alabama again, so that they would not have 2 Big Ten or 2 SEC teams even potentially in the title game.
I think it's Ohio State 1, SEC title, SEC champion 2, and then Indiana 3, possibly saying they lose to Ohio State, and then because they still have to play, right?
Yeah. Ohio
Yes.
State and Indiana, yeah, they still got to play.
Yeah. And then
don't BYU play somebody too? Come on.
Texas Tech.
BYU's
Texas Tech,
they'll play Texas Tech, but then I think Georgia stays at 4. I think they either bump A&M depending on how the game is. I think it relates for them too, the SEC championship, because I think if Bama goes in and beats A&M bad, I think that bumps A&M, even though they only have 1 loss. I think that bumps them out of the top 4. I think that puts them at 5, and then Georgia at 4. If it's a close game, you can make an argument that they'll bump Georgia out, put Georgia at 5, and then A&M at 4. So I think it's Big Ten champion because they're undefeated is at 1, SEC champion at number 2, Big Ten loser, championship loser at 3, and then possibly the SEC championship loser at 4.
Time we got left in this segment, let's just lock it in Iron Bowl period and not talk about what it means beyond this week. Let's just go with the game itself. 2 different guys that both played, but you come at it from a little bit different perspective because, Trent, you grew up in Florida, and I know how close where you're from is to the state. We kind of claim y'all. But AJ, you've lived it and breathed it your entire life, the Iron Bowl itself. I want perspectives from both of you on what it means. Trent, we'll give you the first crack at it, being the non-outsider outsider, if you will.
Yeah, it means a lot, and I didn't know how much it meant until I got here. Like I didn't know how big, because you from Florida, especially the place I'm from, Pensacola. Same school as Emmitt Smith. My head coach, Emmitt Smith and Derrick Brooks. So, you had the Florida State, and AJ know the same thing because he's down the street. Like, especially when we was growing up, it was always Florida State, Miami, Florida. And at that time, they had Tebow. They did have Tebow, and they had Chris Leak. Them, I had all them boys when we was in high school. And so, seeing that, you only know Florida. And so getting to an Iron Bowl and going to the Iron Bowl, you don't realize how serious it is until you go, and you got to be in the mix of it. It's the best rival ever. And so for me to adopt that, to have that installed in me when I got there, like, man, it's hate week all week for me. Like them guys' pictures are on my screen. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we was raised in Bama. Like they would have them guys pictures all over the weight room, reminding us, in and in your locker. Some of them might be in your locker.
Right.
And it might be a linebacker, it might be defensive tackle, it might be a quarter, whoever. But you was gonna be reminded every day. And so when you see that, man, listen, the school I coach at is orange. Got an orange and black and grayish. I don't even like wearing the orange just because of that. It's too close. I don't even wear my own school. My school colors, Scambia High School, are orange and blue. Like they're the Gators, but they're the same orange and blue as Auburn. I haven't worn them shorts or shirt since I left school.
I got 3 children, gone through Hoover High School, and in the middle school that fed them, they all played sports. I got one now. I'm heavy on the black, but I minimize that orange as much as I possibly can with it. I understand. It's it doesn't take long. It only takes one game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it only takes one game.
AJ, Coach Saban was the same way. He said he didn't fully know until he coached in it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think from a player's deal, there's a ton of respect from player to player on both sides.
Oh yeah.
In this game. This is where I talk about, early in the year after the Florida State game. This is a pride game for everybody else in the state. From a player standpoint, the most hatred and nastiest game that we played all year was usually against Tennessee.
Mhm.
The players couldn't stand each other.
Right.
This is more of a fan factor into this game, and the state pride and the pride of the Alabama A being on your chest, and it's this game is bigger than your name on the back of the jersey, right? And I think that's why this game means so much, because it's a pride factor. It's why it meant so much to me, growing up in the state, understanding a Iron Bowl win and what it does for the people of this state. And I think when dudes realize that and understand it's bigger than themselves, that's what makes playing in these games so special.
I can't obviously speak to playing in it, but I have lived this rivalry my whole life from a fan, and obviously for the last 25 years broadcast perspective. And this affects church on Sunday morning.
Yep.
This affects whether you kick your dog when you get home on Saturday night. Sorry to all the PETA people out there. This affects Monday morning at school and at work. There are going to be fights at work. There are going to be fights at school.
There's gonna be fights that night.
There will be fights at night. My oldest and best friend, we get through here. I'm going to his aunt's funeral. Okay. This is my oldest best friend. He's an Auburn fan. I'll never forget, in 5th grade, I walk in. Alabama had beaten Auburn. I walk in and I drop on Monday morning at school. I drop a sweet and low packet on his table, on his desk at school. He goes, "What the heck is that?" I said, "It's sweet and low." He said, "Yeah, what's that?" We had beaten Auburn to knock them out of the SEC championship. And there wasn't an SEC championship game, but it kept Auburn from winning. So instead of going to New Orleans for their bowl game, they were going to Memphis to play. And on that sweet and low packet, I had written Liberty. And he goes, "What's that?" I said, That's a sugar substitute." I was a smart ass in 5th grade doing that stuff. And that kind of thing will go on everywhere, whether it's in the church. I mean, brothers and sisters in Christ will be turning and look at each other on Sunday morning. And if your team wins, you're going to be giving, "What's up?" And they tell you to turn and greet, person next to you in church. And you're going to know if it's an Auburn fan on one side, you're going to turn to the other. You're going to turn. It's just the way it works. Life's going to be miserable if you lose, but especially this year because of what's on the line for both. But it is amazing in all seriousness, the impact it could have, because I agree with what we'd said earlier. DJ Durkin's got a legitimate shot at this job if he can win it. If Alabama wins, they're moving on. But if he wins it, that is something that they can absolutely sell to their fan base if they don't already have who and what they want in their hip pocket right now. I will tell you one thing I give them a lot of credit for, though, guys, and real quick on this before we go to the break. We have seen, I think we talked about this on our Instagram Live conversation on Sunday night. There are a lot of programs where they got rid of the coach in the middle of the season. And the administrations have left these programs to kind of flap in the breeze. And it's not fair to coaches. It's not fair to players. And we've seen some bad stuff happen. Real life bad stuff, like what happened at UAB. Football bad stuff has happened some other places where they just kind of collapse and they're going through the motions and it's ugly. I give Auburn and DJ Durkin a lot of credit. They kept that team engaged throughout this year and playing their best football right now, AJ, at any point in the season.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think it says a lot about the coaches and the coaching staff that they have right now. I mean, to keep a team focused when you've had so many close losses all year long and you've been right there. I mean, listen, EJ Durkin's a overtime away from being undefeated as a head coach right now for him as an interim.
Yeah.
So they're playing well. They have a new life and juice about the team, and it's going to be a tough game. I mean, it's already playing there is already tough, and then now that they have some life behind them, they're going to go out and fight for DJ. You can bet your bottom dollar for that.
Don't this seem like deja vu, y'all? We just seen this a couple years ago. And when they had Cadillac come in and he gave them life and they went over his head and gave it to the next guy. And then they got him up out of here. And so for me, this is what I don't understand about Auburn. You get somebody to get these guys going. And I'm not saying Cadillac's supposed to be the head coach, but man, like, get him an opportunity. He kept your program together. And this is the reason I have a problem with them. And this will make my week more of a hate week because you don't handle the right stuff. Like, you got guys in there that have played there, that have been there, that have been through it, it means something to them. Then you get rid of them or you go somewhere else. Like, how do you let that happen? Like Cadillac, you don't let Cadillac go nowhere. I don't care what you got to do. You keep him at Auburn.
No, I agree. All right, we're taking a break. When we come back, we will have our final segment. We're going to get some comments from the audience. We're also going to have our Wonder Fan game of the week. Stay with us. We got more coming up here on this Iron Bowl week edition of the Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Support for the Dynasty comes from Google. We hear commentators talk about the spread offense all the time, but what if you don't know exactly what that means or what makes it different from other offensive schemes?
You can keep wondering, ask your friends, hope that they know what they're talking about, or you can use AI mode in Google search.
You can just type, "Help me understand what a spread option offense is and why a football team would choose to run it." Yep, you can ask all that in one search, and you'll get an organized and helpful AI-powered response with everything you need to know.
But it doesn't end there. Let's say you want to keep going deeper. With AI mode, you don't have to start a whole new search. You can ask direct follow-ups, like break down how it compares to the pro-style offense based on overall philosophy, types of formations used, and pace.
AI mode is great at these types of comparisons, giving you a side-by-side analysis and helping you get the full story from one question to the next.
So if you don't want to just watch the game, but really understand it, you can just ask Google.
Back on the Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. If you're looking for the hub, just go to thedynastybama.com. Please rate, review, and share across social media at the Dynasty Bama. Before we move on to our Wonder Fan must-watch games of the week, Trent, want to go back to something we talked about last segment, the really rough incident at UAB. I know you wanted to comment just on that because it's something that not exactly mirrors, but it kind of brought something to your mind that hit close to home just a few years ago. And we think of these guys and we think of situations all as football, winning and losing, but there's literally life and death that can take place on these campuses and impacts kids in a big, big way.
Yeah, as a parent, you definitely think about that, and that's something that you don't want to have to think about that when your kids are going off to college, to get their life started. And so, man, we're praying for those kids, family, man, and those kids on all ends. But it's a tough story to hear because my nephew was in a situation like that a few years ago. Kid from Kennesaw State, Ladairs Clarity. He went home, went even at home for 4 hours in wrong place, wrong time. Somebody thought his car was somebody else and shot up his car, and that baby got hit 13 times. So when you think about that, and he was calling my brother at the same time when it was going on. Like, so, and it's 1 a.m, maybe 12, if that, just at a stoplight, man. And so stuff like that hit home for me, and I'm praying for that family because we still haven't healed yet. And I'm proud of his little brother because Squirrel is now at Ole Miss playing good football as a freshman right now.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, and glad to be able to give you a minute to talk about the impact there. Let's go a little lighter the rest of the way in this, guys. We got our Wonder Fan must-watch games of the week brought to us by Wonder Fan. It's the app that pays you to be a fan. The Wonder Fan app, absolutely free to use, and you can earn rewards for doing things you already love doing, like attending games, watching live sports on TV, and now watching podcasts, preferably The Dynasty, on YouTube. AJ, none of that happens if folks don't download the app first.
Yep. Go download the app. It only takes a couple minutes to sign up. We've all done it. Hundreds of other Alabama fans have done it. So get paid to watch Alabama play. It's nothing better than that.
That is good stuff. You get what they call points in this app it's called Wonder, WUNDER, and you can earn 50 Wonder by submitting a screenshot in the Wonder Fan app as you watch our podcast on your connected TV or any second screen, just as you do when you're watching live sports. And as always, you earn double points when you use the Wonder Fan Watch to Earn feature for any of our must-watch games of the week. Tide are always must-watch, and obviously against Auburn it will be. But outside of that, Trent, what you got your eye on?
Man, I'm headed back to Dick's Sporting Goods. Christmas coming up, and TJ feet instead of growing. So that's
where you want to go get your. That's where you get stuff. Which game though?
Oh,
are
I'm
you
sorry.
going to watch?
I'm looking.
That's all right.
Of course. I'm
You're already ahead. Look, I know you ain't worried about the game. You're worried about going to get the gear that you'll earn.
Yeah, you just walked downstairs. I was looking how big
when you
my son
redeem
was.
those points for things you actually want, like memorabilia, gift cards, and gear. So we know you got your eye on the gift card to Dick's Sporting Goods, but which game you got your eye on, partner?
We're gonna go Texas A&M in Texas, and the reason because we know that can be big for Bama this year. Far as the SEC championship, you might not have to play Texas A&M. But for me, man, I definitely think Arch is, he's been getting going lately. He had a great game last week. And he put up some stats against Arkansas, and they looked like they was having fun, man. Texas was hitting on all cylinders. So I'm excited to see this game and see what's gonna come out this rival.
AJ, how about you?
I think none other than I think it's the most important game. Just from a coaching carousel standpoint, the Egg Bowl. Will this be Lane Kiffin's last game as Ole Miss head coach? You're hearing all the rumors that he has to make a decision by Saturday if he's going to sign the extension that's been on his desk for weeks and weeks now, or is he going to be the head coach at Florida, LSU, one of these other spots that are open around the country. So I think it's the most interesting game especially on Friday. And we'll see if Jeff Lebby and the Bulldogs can upset and send Ole Miss home and without a coach.
It'd be the most Lane thing ever for that to happen, that's for sure. Double points when you use Wonder Fans Watch to Earn feature for any of our must-watch games of the week. Texas A&M, or the Egg Bowl, and, of course, the Iron Bowl. If you're ready to start getting paid to be a fan, visit wonderfan.com or search for WonderFan in the Apple or Android App Store to download the app. That's WUNDERFAN, WonderFan, where it pays to be a fan. All right, guys, we've talked about what the game means, the implications, the meaning for players, having been in it before, some memories for both. Let's talk about the breakdown itself in the time that we've got left. 5.5-point road favorite as we visit now for Bama over Auburn, playing its third game under interim coach DJ Durkin. He was the DC under Hugh Freeze. Auburn's defense has been great, giving up just over 20 points per game. They held A&M and Georgia to 16 and 20, respectively. In losses, Xavier Atkins has been a game wrecker all season, 7.5 sacks, 15.5 TFLs, and an interception on the year. Trent, what's impressed you most about Auburn's defense this year?
I think the fact that they can rush the passer, and you know, they are explosive up front. I think Auburn has always, when they have had a good team and a team that can, you know what I mean, get after your tail, they always had a good front. I remember when we played them, they had Nick over there, and that guy was a game record, especially when we played them in Alabama that one year. Man, they sent the blitz at us, and everybody was walking around, and nobody, like, offensive line was so confused. I had to try to hit like 3 folks, and it smacked Greg in his mouth. And you just knew that it was just a different game. And so that defense, man, when they're a good team, that defense is definitely out front.
Yeah. AJ, what type of challenge does it present for Bama's offense?
Well, it's massive. Listen, this defense flies around. They've been the heart and soul of their team all year. It's why they've been in every game pretty much, is because of their defense. It's definitely not because of their offense. So you got to start fast. I keep saying it. This is not a game that you want coming down to the wire. It usually doesn't work your way. Even though I understand we have the 4th and 26 or whatever it was, but it's just not a game you want to be in. You want to try to take this crowd out of it, and so you got to start fast. But it's going to be a challenge. This Auburn defense, I think, is one of the best defenses that we will face all year.
Since they got rid of the offensive mastermind, Hugh Freeze, Auburn has had its 2 best scoring outputs since week 1. They had 38 in an overtime loss to Vandy, 62 against Mercer. Last week, Ashton Daniels gets us started against Vandy, goes for 353 and a couple of scores. Didn't play so that they could preserve his red shirt. Deuce Knight got the start. What do you have? 6 touchdowns, 4 rushing, 2 passing. Goes for 239 through the air, 162 on the ground. In addition to guys just making plays, what are you seeing different about their offense, AJ, since Hugh Freeze departed?
Well, I think it's just like I said, from a coaching change. You don't have tape, so tendencies that you were used to under Hugh Freeze are no longer there. So, I mean, you have really Alabama's going to be focusing on 2 game films to try to pull tendencies from 2 game films. That's extremely hard to do. So that makes a challenge for Kane and his defense, because there's going to be schemes that they're really good at, but it's the tendencies part that is hard to match. And in football, that's what wins you games, right? You might face a team that is better than you, but they have certain tendencies in 3rd and 4 or 3rd and long, or hey, they're a pass first offense on first down, and then second down they're more run heavy. But when you only have two game films to go off of from the new OC, it makes it tough.
Yeah.
So it's a weird deal because you're also probably having to prepare for 2 quarterbacks at the same time. I mean, they have the right to play both of these kids now.
Yeah.
Which I could see them doing.
Trent, they got 2 receivers that anybody in the country would love to have. Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton. What's it going to take to shut down those 2 guys, or at least limit them? Because I don't know if you shut them down.
Yeah, it's tough to say shut them down. You can contain them, but you try to find a way to make them beat you another way. Just like how everybody trying to do us right now, try to make us win by running the ball. And if you can't do that, I mean, but for me, man, I definitely think the defense just got to come show up, man. They gotta bring pressure. They gotta have a big push up front. They gotta bring pressure. Bray got to be flying around. You got to be Bray. You got to be flying around. Guys just got to be in tune. Like, they got to know it's 365 days that you wait for this game. Was it 64? 364 days. You
Sometimes
wait for this game.
365.
Yeah, sometimes. But it's just one of those games that, man, you got to bring everything because they're going to definitely do it. Trick plays and all.
All right, guys, we got about 4 things we need to get to real quick, including one tied to this game for me that I'll save for the very last one. But let's go from one of the things from Instagram Live from last night that we did. What ultimately happens with Lane Kiffin, and what should the committee do if they beat Mississippi State but he leaves before the selection show? Trent, give me yours. Give me your thought quick.
It's gonna be tough. I don't think they should get punished if he do leave. But I think it takes a lot from him when you lose a guy like Lane Kiffin. Because not only your head coach, I mean, he's still calling those plays on the offensive side. And so if you're not going to let him finish that, and he got to go right now, if you got to leave right now, because I know back in the day I think it was a thing where people, they signed a contract or they agreed with somebody else, but they finished like the bowl week or something like that. Am I right, AJ?
Yeah, a lot of times they'd finish out the year.
Yeah, they'll finish it out. But if you're telling a guy, I don't know if it's true or not, but if you're telling a guy that if he don't make this decision by the Egg Bowl, you're out, and he done gave you your best record every year since he done been there, like, how do you even talk to him like that?
Yeah. How about you, AJ?
Yeah, I think Lane's gone, and I think it's right for Ole Miss. I think it takes an AD and president, whoever's in charge of this for Ole Miss, it's their AD, to stand up to them and say, hey, we're not going to be treated as little Ole Miss anymore. We're a great university, a great program, and we have plenty of people that want this job as well. So best of luck to you. If you don't want to sign an extension, you don't think you can win a national championship here, good luck. And don't let the door hit you on the way out.
What a good Lord split you is the route.
My thing is, AJ and Chris, like, they won a good program before him. So, like, do anybody say that to Coach Saban and Kirby right now?
But I think they're different because they've won national championships.
Okay, I agree with you on that.
I think with Lane's situation, there's always been a ton of hype around Lane. When is it paid off?
Yeah.
Right. When is that hype turned into actual championship wins?
Circus is fun for a while.
Yep.
And then it's just
it's the trolling that comes with him. He's been trolling Ole Miss fans. I mean, after they had the largest crowd in history at an Ole Miss game for the Florida Ole Miss, he goes into the press conference and talks about the lack of attendance by the fans at the Citadel game the week before. Not talking about the history that they just set and the fact that they beat Florida and it was an awesome game. He goes into there the press conference and talks about the crowd attendance from the previous week.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, he's a different
Like,
dude.
you can only take so much trolling, and then it's, okay, see ya. Let's move on.
Tommy asked the question, AJ, what was your favorite, most memorable Iron Bowl growing up in Alabama? So not one that you played in, but as a kid, you got one that stands out?
I didn't grow up an Alabama fan, so I mean, that's hard for me.
So I'll ask what everybody else is asking. Who in the heck was your team?
Miami Hurricanes.
There ain't no shock about
You
that
from the
at
Gulf
all.
Coast, man. That's right there. Like all of it.
I was all about the U. That's who I
That
rooted
does
for.
not surprise me in the least.
But I mean, listen, the famous clips of Tiffin kicking the game winner.
85. I was there. First one.
I mean, I love
me.
the old clips, so it's things
Yeah.
like that. But I don't remember a ton of Iron Bowls when I was growing up.
That fourth quarter of that game, guys, was one of the most exciting and most electric ever. And neither one of them played. There was no conference championship. Neither one of them won a league title. Didn't play for one. But it was a phenomenal game. If you ever get a chance to watch the full replay, but just the fourth quarter alone, and the number of players, great players that were on the field in that game, it was something special. What would be your ideal format for the playoffs? Do you think the BCS rankings should be used instead of a committee? Trent, what do you think? You like a committee or you like the computer?
That's tough, man. It's one of those things. Like who is the committee? Is the committee AI now, or is it a whole bunch of guys in suit and ties that never played the game? So it's kind of hard to say that. Because even with the BCS, like, I mean, BCS for us was do or die. Like you couldn't lose a Saturday.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're meaning going back to just two teams. I think using the same computer format that got you down to 2, you just expanded out to 12 or 16, whatever we're looking at going forward.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a hybrid.
Yeah.
Where it's so the BCS algorithm part of it factors in strength of schedule. The committee in the past has not done that. So I think when you put everything in, strength of schedule, common opponent, all that into the algorithm of the BCS, it gives you, even if it said, hey, this is who the top 4 should be. And then the committee picked, 5 through 12. But I think there needs to be a hybrid because I think this committee has proven over the last couple of years that they are all over the place.
Yeah.
Or fix the committee and get football guys in there.
Yeah. All right. Last thing. This is just our wrap up, and from Steve Gorgie, our producer, who's the best. What has Alabama got to do, Trent Richardson, to beat Auburn?
They got to be able to run the ball. They got to be able to have some type of run game because I'm telling you, this is going to be the game to where you got to be able to get them tough yards because they're going to come out with everything in the book. And if we can't score by running it, especially on the goal line or in the red zone, like we're going to be in trouble because you're going to have to be able to keep that offense off the field because they were doing a lot of trick stuff. So for me, and special teams got to count too. And that's on all ends. Field goal, kickoff return, punt return. Can't have nobody dropping punts. We can't have guys not getting no yard. Like, man, listen, we got to hit on all cylinders no matter what. So defense just got to keep playing excited and angry and keep flying around. So I think we got enough to do it, and I think we got enough to put this game away early. But we just got to be all locked in early in the game.
AJ, you got the final word, brother.
Start fast, take care of the football, and don't beat yourself. And for God's sake, please, on offense, stop running the play clock down to 1 second. Get up, play with some tempo, snap the ball, especially if you're not worried about their offense as much, play with tempo. Try to get those big guys and their pass rushers and their D-line tired. Play with a little bit of pace, tempo, and give yourself time. It's going to be loud. You can't run the play clock. We can't waste timeouts that are unnecessary timeouts like we've done a couple times this year. But you got to start fast, take care of the football, and I think you'll be in the right position to win the game.
Hopefully,
I'm sorry, Chris, not to cut you off. When AJ said that, I mean, I felt the moment of me being back on that field in Jordan Hare, because that stadium rocked.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You can't hear nothing. Everything's just rocking. You can't hear nothing. And that's how it was, man. And you listen, that play lasts maybe 3 seconds when it happened. That's it.
So good. So good. Guys, looking forward to it. Looking forward to talking about it if things go the way we want them to. If not, my computer may be broken next week, and y'all have fun. But that's going to do it for this edition of The Dynasty. Again, thedynastybama.com is the hub for all of our social media platforms, and or The Dynasty Bama is where you get YouTube, Apple, Spotify links, but you also can find us across social media at The Dynasty Bama. For AJ, for Trent, I'm Chris. Thanks for joining us. Roll Tide, everybody.